teams among the nation's best, both in the top 5. They've always been this way. 17 combined national championships, but we've been doing this rivalry a long time. It's not the numbers that makes it special. What is it about these two?
Well, rivalries are what makes sports exciting, and it's why it makes this meet the biggest dual meet of the season. But in my opinion, in a sport that's subjective, there's no better way to see where you stack up against your rival than to go head-to-head in front of the same judges.
UCLA is number 2. The Bruins are undefeated, winners of 15 straight meets. How good have the Bruins been? Well, the last 2 weeks, they've been perfect. Twice. Caitlin Ohashi 2 times on the floor. Kyla Ross 2 times on the vault.
Well, for UCLA, they've been consistently earning those perfect 10s, 8 total. Ross getting 4, 2 on the uneven bars, 2 on the vault, where she's added in this Yurchenko 1.5 twist this season and makes it look easy. Today, we're going to be seeing her in the all-arounds.
Ohashi ranked number 1 in the country on the floor. She has 3 perfect 10s, but how about this number? 17 straight floor exercises have gone 9-9 or better.
Well, and this routine has gone viral. In fact, when I describe it, I say it's pure joy, absolute fun to watch. You mentioned the perfect 10s. She makes it a complete show. Today she's going to be anchoring on the floor exercise and the final event for UCLA on the balance beam.
Utah is one of the few teams in the country that can match UCLA's talent. Michaela Skinner, 20 individual wins. She has won at least twice on every single event.
Well, she has been protecting a sore ankle, but she put up big performances on 3 events where she earned scores of 9-9 or better. But when I talked to the coaches, they said, we plan to rest her ankle at those meets. We've also planned to have her back in when we need her most on the floor exercise, which is in today's competition, and she will close it out on the floor exercise.
If Michaela Skinner is Steph Curry, then McKenna Merrill-Giles must be Klay Thompson, an all-star in her own right.
Well, she is a solid rock for this team. She has competed in the all-around at every single meet. She's got the difficulty. She has the execution. She's calm and consistent. And along with that, a fierce competitor. Exactly what this Utah team needs with a 1-2 punch.
UCLA has not lost in a year. They've beaten 37 consecutive opponents. The last team to beat the Bruins was Utah. UCLA and Utah, a sold-out crowd at the Huntsman Center, live on the Pac-12 Network. Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics is presented by Opus Bank, the official bank of the Pac-12 Conference. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. Huntsman Center peeking through the trees in the bottom right-hand corner. That is the Wasatch Front. Great skiing, the greatest snow on earth in Utah. Red Rocks come in as the number 4 team in the country. Once beaten, that was against LSU in a quad meet a couple of weeks ago, but undefeated in conference at 5-0. UCLA is 4-0 in conference and 9-0 on the season. Red Rocks, as the home team, will begin in the Olympic order, and that means the veteran, Kari Lee, to start things off. Kari Lee will lead off on 3 different events today. Kari Lee is money in the bank for this team, and she always has been. All 8 of her vaults this year have gone at least 9-8. Utah looking to get off to a fast start.
Well, this is a great event, so they've got to put up the great vaults, but they need solid, strong landings. It's a great vault, a great way to start the rotation. Yurchenko layout pull, the most common vault we see in college gymnastics, starts from a 9.95. The key is sticking those landings.
Utah beginning on the vault with their ranked number 2. UCLA is the 3rd ranked team in the country on the uneven bars, but unlike Utah starts with a veteran. Mars is first up. Marzetta Frazier, the freshman for UCLA, who's ranked individually 12th on the uneven bars. 7 times this year, she has gone at least 9.85 or better, and she's coming off a career high 9.95 against Arizona to finish 2nd last week.
The key on the uneven bars is hitting handstands, big air, big amplitude. She is a dynamic gymnast. Came in a little bit close on the release down to the low bar. So strong, able to push out of it, recovering well, nailing that final handstand. Finishing huge double layout and a stuck landing. You see so much great gymnastics. We're going to see it in today's competition. To get to that 9-9 range on any of these events, it's all about details, hitting every position and sticking landings.
9-8 score for Carly to start it off. So that's a good number. Now you want to build from here. Macy Roberts, the senior from McDonald, Tennessee, having a very good year. She has been scored 16 times, and every time it has been a 9-8, 2-5 or better. On this event, she's ranked 17th in the nation.
Distance, height, clean form in the air. The judges watch this over and over, so it's all about how high they get, that body position in the air, legs glued together, how they separate the scores. It's going to be distance, amplitude, and then that landing.
Macy Roberts, 7 of 8 this year, at least 9-8-5 on ball. Back over to the bars. We see our specialist of the week in the Pac-12, Felicia Hanna, against Arizona. Vault, bars, and floor, all of them 9-8-7-5 or higher. Now she's kind of a late entry this season onto bars, last 3 only. Her last 2 have been very good, including a career-high 9-8-7-5 against Arizona.
Nice handstand to start the routine. Big release, huge air, directly connected down to the low bar. Aggressive pace right to that handstand. Finishing combination, a little off balance, lost form a little bit, but was able to pull it out through to that double tuck. Watch the height she gets on this release, way above the bar, gives her plenty of time to know where she's at, and that gives her a lot of swing down to the low bar. She lost form right here just a little bit. You can see she was off balance, leaning on that right hand. She did a great job pushing out of it, centering that swing up, was able to finish it with a clean dismount.
Valerie Condos Field, the head coach at UCLA, her last visit to the Huntsman Center with the hug. 9-8-2-5, so Macy Roberts bumps Kari's lead, opening 9-8. And here comes Alexia Birch, who has been waiting to get back into action since a subpar performance at Stanford. That'll help.
Good for her. We talk about how it can be difficult to rebound from mistakes. It is such a mental game. She really was aggressive with her speed into the table. Small leg separation right there. I always remind everybody they do not get to see it in slow motion like we do, but that landing very impressive, and hopefully that sets the tone for the back part of the lineup to really buckle down, saving those points on the landings.
Yeah, Birch had a streak of 7 straight 9-8s before she had problems on balls at Stanford, but she's erased that memory. 9-8-7-5, and then Hanna with a 9-8. UCLA always tweaking its lineup a little bit. Macy Taranjo now next up on the bars.
Yeah, tweaking lineups. That's something that we have gotten used to. UCLA has a ton of depth on every single event. So they really kind of wait to see how training has gone, lineups have gone. Most of these young ladies work very hard. Oh, nice work there. Looks like she was a little close to the bar, but turned over very nice.
Against Arizona a week ago, UCLA went 6 for 6 on stuck landings on the bars. They're undefeated this year, 9-0 as a team.
Hop back. You talk about sticking landings. In the warm-up, UCLA was doing a stick contest. It was blue versus gold as they warmed up on the floor exercise. To be the best, it comes down sometimes to those small tents, which think about how many landings are throughout this competition.
9-8-5 for Birch. That's the high mark so far. But here comes McKenna Merrill Giles. She has 7 wins this year. One of them has come on this event. And her last 4, all 9-8-5 or better. Defending Pac-12 co-champion.
That's why. Rajayko 1.5 twist. Starts from a 10.0. We've watched her do this vault over and over. To be that good at something, it's all about technique and knowing where you're at in the air. She comes off the table in a good position, spots the ground right there. Then that gives her the ability to get her shoulders and hips aligned over her feet, which you're going to see right here. She comes in, settles, squeezes, and holds on to that landing.
Crowd expecting and almost demanding a big number. Don't know if it's going to be 10. Megan Marsden, co-head coach here at Utah, and a legend in her own right as a gymnast, national champion. It's not quite perfect, but it's close. 9-9-5 for McKenna Merrill Giles. Meantime, UCLA with some modest scores for them on the bars so far, looking to bump it here with Flatley, Koshin, and Ross on the back end of the rotation. Nora Flatley has been on bars and beam in every meet. She's scheduled to do the same this afternoon. On this event, she's top 20, currently ranked 17th, and has been super consistent. All 7 of her bars routines this year, 9.825 or better.
Looks like the judges were talking about something. Maybe the last routine that has put Nora in that waiting position.
Gets the green light and goes to work.
Mounting right to the high bar. Beautiful first handstand. Nora has stunning form. Unique combination work right here. High flying Jaeger. Nice combination work. Legs glued together as she transitions down.
She's from West Des Moines in Iowa, where she was the state bar champion a year ago. On a much bigger stage now.
Lots of power into that double layout. Little slide on the landing.
.995 for Merrill Giles, the defending Pac-12 champion. And how good is Utah's lineup? Now they hand the baton to Michaela Skinner, the defending NCAA co-champion. All 8 of her vaults, 9.875 plus. Expect something special.
Most difficult vault you'll see. Yurchenko double full. Unbelievable. This vault is so challenging. Yurchenko fits 2 twists in that air. And the landing, she had to slide those feet together, but we've seen her do this over and over. Near perfect. 9.975 last week, which meant one of the judges did give her a perfect 10. We'll have to see what the judges think of that vault here today.
Michaela Skinner expected to be back in the floor lineup today. She has been in that group just once in the last 4 weeks. She's been nursing an ankle injury, but they need her today, and she is a gamer. So we go from a Pac-12 champion to an NCAA champion, and now we go to a world champion and an Olympic gold medalist. Maddie Koshin, ranked 12th right now on the bars, has a couple of wins, and every time up, 9.825 or better.
Next up on bars for
Caitlin
UCLA.
Ohashi spraying the bars, gives them a little extra stick to the grip.
Nora Flatley posts a new best, 9.925. So UCLA is now building. This is an important rotation for Utah because this is the only event for them, vault, in which they are ranked higher than UCLA.
Koshin has such beautiful skills on this event. Release up to the high bar, back salto back down, and pirouettes and elements right on top of the bar. A beautiful line throughout. Full twisting double back, and nails it. Wow, gorgeous routine start to finish. That should break a 9.9, could be close to a 10. Very little deduction, maybe a little bit on her knees on that tap. Watch this, spots the ground, knew exactly where she was. I think she was smiling before her feet even hit the mat.
Both teams doing exactly what you're supposed to do, post a big early number and build and go higher. 9.925 for Skinner. And closing out the rotation is Kim Tesson. 3 events last week at Stanford for the first time this year, including vault, where she had a 9.9. They have a good number. They're looking for a great number, wanting to beat a 9.8.
Another difficult vault, taking that step. That was a big deal when they were able to put her back in that lineup. That gives them 3 10-0 star value vaults. As she's working her way into that lineup, one thing they're focusing in on is getting better landing. She's been consistently taking those small steps. I think with time, the goal is to get a solid landing on those back 3 vaults and rack out more 9.9s if possible.
Here Here comes Kyla Ross for the first time today.
UCLA, Kyla Ross.
Like the team itself, Ross is ranked number 2 on bars. She has 4 wins, and last week against Arizona, 9.975 on this event.
Beautiful.
Defending NCAA champion on bars.
Kyla's technique on this event is what makes her so consistent. She is a tall gymnast, so it is all about making the swing easy. So she uses perfect technique start to finish and put up another, in my opinion, pretty close to perfect routine. It's handstands like that, her toe point. She bounces the bar. That shows you she is at perfect vertical. When she kicks back, even right there, gluing her feet together on those transitions can be challenging. We've seen her consistently nail this dismount. Double layout, arms out and ready.
Kyla Ross waits for her score with some excitement, and she got a 10.
Did she get it from both judges?
It's official. It's a 10. Kyla Ross has done it again. Well, she's had 10s the last 2 weeks, but those came on vaults. And she just threw one up on bars. What a start.
Home of the Utah Utes. You're watching.
When the Donkey Center opened in 1999,
Both teams with smoking hot first rotations. Utah went 49-450 on the vault. That is a season high for the Red Rocks. UCLA, capped by Kyla Ross's perfect 10, went 49-550 on bars. It is not a season high for UCLA. The Bruins have put up a 49-7, and just last week against Arizona at home went 49-625. It is above average. Let's go back and look at the highlights from that first rotation. McKenna Merrill-Giles, 9.95.
This was an outstanding rotation for Utah on the vault. Big vaults coming up. Yurchenko 1.5 twist. They have 10-0 start values in that back part of their lineup, and they went big on the landings. 9.95 for her. And then Michaela Skinner, the most difficult vault you will see. Yurchenko double bulk. She does this every single weekend. Unbelievable. Put up a 9.925 in today's competition.
Meanwhile, over on the bars, UCLA, the back end of the lineup starts with Nora Flatley, 9.925.
Well, she was clean from the very beginning, doing a beautiful double layout to finish it out. And Madison Koshin, a full twisting double back for her dismount, 9.95 for her. And then Kyla Ross does what she does best. Her bar routine done perfectly. Double layout, sticking it, and just earned another perfect 10.
And it's 10 career now for Kyla Ross. As if this meet needed any more drama, any more emotion, it is the final visit to the Huntsman Center for the legendary UCLA head coach, Valerie Condos-Field. 7 NCAA championships, 527 victories. She's won 84% of her meets as the head coach at UCLA. Her motto is integrity and balance. She got it from John Wooden's They Call Me Coach book. She is a mentor, a role model, and a mother figure, but she says the title that she struggles with most is coach.
Huddle up. Yeah, I'm proud.
Oh, good. How are you? Bruins, let's have a great day.
When you're a coach, people call you coach, and I've been coaching now 36 years, and when I'm called coach, I still chuckle inside, because I'm like, I'm not a coach. My medium through which I teach them life skills is through dance and gymnastics. And when they can understand how to bring intention to their gymnastics and their dance, that's when those life lessons blossom. And that's what I really care the most about. The toughest life lessons that you do not learn in a classroom is what I'm going to help teach in this gym. And because I'm at UCLA and I can recruit some of the best athletes in the world because of the reputation of UCLA, we're going to win championships. But that's not what I start with. I start with, I'm going to help you become the best person that you can be. I'm going to help you become a superhero. And I'm going to help you become a champion in life. And that's going to translate to the competition floor. And that's how we're going to win.
Valerie Gondosfield is a coach. She's a tremendous coach, but she doesn't talk like a normal coach. She doesn't talk about winning championships. She talks about being the best you, improving your gymnastics, and having a purpose to all of this. But I'll tell you the thing that has impressed me the most in knowing her over 15 years now is what she has done off of the floor. She has written a book, and her book is because of what happened to her in 2014 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She has beaten that as well, and she is cancer-free. And the title of her book, Life is Short, Don't Wait to Dance.
Well, if you walk in this arena, she's dancing from the very beginning of the warm-ups, and it's her positive energy. You know, I think when I had a chance to talk to her about this rivalry, she said, you know what, it is a rivalry, but my job is to create a buzz about my team, buzz about gymnastics, buzz about the Pac-12 conference. You know, she really, I think, just embraces the fact that her job is much bigger than just doing gymnastics.
She's all about the sport. She wants things to be better. She says this is a dark time for our sport, and maybe we can shine a little light on the best sport there is. UCLA goes to the vault, Utah to the bars. Both teams are 8-1 on those events. UCLA now with a 49-6 on bars. Amanda, maybe there was an appeal and they bumped the score. We still have 49-5-5 on the scoreboard inside the arena, so we'll have to check that and clarify. Meantime, UCLA in the second stanza will move to the vault. As a team, UCLA is ranked number 4. They average better than a 49-2. First up will be Caitlin Ohashi. That was big news a week ago when she vaulted for the first time in a year. Had a 9.775. I'm not used to saying 9.775 when I say Caitlin Ohashi. She's better than that.
Layout full. What makes it so impressive is that when we asked about her getting in the vault lineup, they said, yeah, she started vaulting on Wednesday. That's just a few days before she competed the vault. Now, she's an incredible athlete and has competed vault many times, just not this year. But you know what? She brings such a positive energy to this team. Really great way to start the rotation.
I understand we might see her on floor.
We better see her on
floor. If not, go look at YouTube with 105 million other people. Second time today that Kari Lee leads off. She posted a 9.8 on vault, and they were able to drop that score later on the way to a 49.45. Kari Lee on this event, in the last 4, her best is a 9.825. She's done that twice. They need a bit more from her.
Beautiful height on her pike Jaeger. Directly connected down to that shoot over. All about those details. Hitting those handstands, combination work here at the end. We need to start out with a strong landing, hop forward.
One of her 9.825s came last week at Stanford.
Look at the height, way above the bar. Gives her plenty of time to reach out and grab it. Dismount combination, that front giant through to double tuck. Came off a little bit early, so when she landed, her momentum was still traveling forward. Had to take that hop.
9.8 opener for Ohashi, so a little bit better than last week for her. And here comes Fish. Alicia Hano, who also had a 9.8 on bars, and UCLA was able to drop that score as well.
She's a very powerful gymnast. All about the landing. 1.5 twist.
She's top 25 in the country on this event, has a victory, and almost always is above 9.825. This one should be right in that neighborhood.
Well, a few years back, they upgraded the 1.5 twist to a 10.0 start value.
Check out Chris Waller in the background.
Look at that, because they're taking the risk. You've asked all these coaches, do you take the risk, knowing that it's a much more difficult landing? So you can see when they nail those landings, these coaches go wild, because you know with the 10.0 start value, sticking that vault, you're at least getting a 9.9.
Chris Waller, by the way, a pretty good gymnast back in the day, 92 Olympian. And back in 2003, he was the acting head coach when Miss Val was gone for a time, and he won. I think he's 2-0 as a head coach. So he always wants to remind me he has the greatest winning percentage of all UCLA head coaches. We go back to the bars where Hunter Dula has been terrific. Season and career highs in her last 3. 9.85 is her best this year.
Beautiful toe point. Nice aggressive positions into the handstands. Finishing their combination, stalled her. High flying double tuck and holding on to it.
I saw Tom Parton, associate head coach here at Utah, in the foreground, put his hands in the air. I talked to Tommy before the meet about Hunter Dula on this event. I talked about her consistency, and he said it really just a matter of the freshman getting a little more comfortable on this big stage in front of a crowd with cameras and just knowing her role.
Yeah, and learning how to handle pressure. I think there's a whole different feeling in the collegiate world because your whole team's counting on you.
9.95 for Felicia Hano. We go from one talented freshman on the Utah roster, Hunter Dula, to another on the UCLA docket, Sakai Wright. She won this at Stanford.
Little off balance there on the landing. We didn't see her at the beginning of the season because she was out, I believe, with a sore ankle. She's got a lot of power. She was a little under-rotated here, so she started bending her knees early and then came up short and stepped off center. That's the risky part about that Yurchenko 1.5 twist. If you're a little short, there's not much you can do to get out of it besides try to generate that rotation and get on top of the landing.
And for Sakai, that will finish her program today. We'll wait and get the score. 9.85 for Hunter Dula. Kim Tesson once again, 6 times on the bars, has been better than 9.8. Season high 9.875 against Arizona. Had a slow start to her season because of illness, had to work back her strength, knock off the rust. She is back to full form.
Little close on the catch of the Jaeger, but kept good form. Beautiful. Straight body cast handstand. Winding up, full twisting double back. Small step on the landing.
Local product out of Orem, Utah. Junior Olympic co-national champion on this event back in 2016. 9.85 for Sakai Wright. So good first 3. Now you have Dennis, Ross, and Polly Trotz. For Nia Dennis, celebrating a birthday today. I believe she's 20. Happy birthday, Nia. Go get you some.
That's a good birthday present.
Well, she's won on vault before. She had a string of 4 in a row that were 9.85 or better. But last week against Arizona, just a 9.775. This should be better than that.
Yeah, she went with the layout full. She can do the 1.5 twist. Look how high she is coming into that landing. She almost has to slow down the rotation. She lands straight up and down on it. Unbelievable.
That's the thing about UCLA. Not only always competing, but they're always dancing. Nora Flatley is her roommate. So I'm sure there's a lot of that going on around the house as well. This team is constantly dancing and singing. Caitlin Ohashi never stands still. 9.875 for Kim Tesson. McKenna Merrill Giles had a 9.95 on vault, and she's been better lately on this event. Her last 4 on bars have been 9.85 plus. In fact, this year, 28 of her 32 scores have been 9.85 or plus.
Perfect lines on the opening handstands. Big release move. Confident into those transitions. Beautiful. Full twisting double back. Wow, the only deduction in that routine was the step on the landing. Perfect positioning. Watch how sharp and tight she gets a strong kick and lift, sits through those legs, sees the bar, and then is able to really adjust coming out of such a big release move. Dismount right here, that full twisting back. That right there, that step back with the left foot, the only deduction I saw in that routine.
7 wins for Merrill Giles this year. 1 has come on the bars, 3 times in the all-around. Back-to-back 9.85s for the Bruins. Kyla Ross already has a 10 today. She has 3 10s in the last 3 meets. This would be her weakest event, but she's won vault 3 times this year.
Beautiful Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Not a perfect landing today.
Remember, she had 10s her last 2 times on vault.
She spots over that left shoulder. Just a little bit short on the landing, but she does a great job of knowing where she's at, so she's able to slide those feet back and really stay clean on the landing.
I was checking with Liza David, the sports information director for UCLA. I said, well, she had 10s her last 2 times. When was the last time somebody had 3 10s in a row on vault? And she said back in 2004, Jeanette Antolin had 7 in a row and
Wow.
9 for the year. First time today we see Missy Reinstatler. She arrives on the bars and the crowd is ready for her. She has won on this event and all 8 9825 plus. She's been nursing a sore foot, so she's been limited to just bars.
Big release. It looked like it drifted away from the bar, but she sat all the way through. Nice reach to catch it. She has such great leg form. Her toe point, dismounting. Oh, pulled those feet through just a little bit.
And of course, the temptation is to talk about the injury, the injured foot, and maybe it affects her on those landings, but all speculation from this chair. 9925 for Kyla Ross, who now has a 10 and a 9925 in the biggest meet of the year. Polly Trotz, she appeared on vault last week, but not on floor. Two-time German national champion on this event.
Layout full. Looked like she was going for that stick. Had to take a little adjustment on the landing. She's a beautiful gymnast. Strong technique, good form. Just a little bit lean forward. She kind of hopped to the salute. She will still get a deduction for that. I think she came up short. You could see her shoulders were turned just a little bit on the table, rushing that twist before finishing that strong block.
She had a 9.875 last week at home against Arizona. Reinstatler goes 9.85, and once again, Skinner is the anchor, looking to take down the low score of 9.825 at the top of the lineup by Kari Lee. Skinner on vault is ranked number 2. Excuse me, Skinner on bars is ranked number 8 in the country. 6 wins.
Next up, on bars for
And last week, she put up a 9.95 on this event.
She's done that 3 times this season. 20 wins, 6 of them right here.
She is such a powerful gymnast, and you can see it even on bars. Look how fast she swings to those handstands, locking in her positions. Combination, toe handstand, full twisting double back. Wow. And the fans on their feet. You know, as a freshman, we talked about her difficulty, but what has amazed me most on this event for Michaela Skinner is she continues to add in the difficulty and improve her form, and it's really paid off.
Michaela Skinner is ranked on 4 events, including the all-around, where she's number 5, and is the 2-time defending Pac-12 coach champion. At halftime, UCLA leading by .125. The Bruins just tied a season high on the bars with 49.425. They did that last week against Arizona, so UCLA is peaking on the vault at the right time. Meantime, for Utah, they went 49.4 on the bars, so it's above their season average, but below their season best, which came at Arizona State. Let's go back and look at the high points for UCLA.
Well, this is a stacked lineup, starting with Felicia Hano. Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Beautiful form. Probably one of the best landings I've seen her do yet. 9.95. And then Kyla Ross, another strong vaulter. She wasn't perfect today, but almost just that hop back. Was a 9.925 for her.
The way Utah designs its lineup is for Kari Lee to put up a good score, 9.825, and then later on, Michaela Skinner to take that down. That's exactly what happened on bars with a 9.95.
Well, she's powerful, and she is a fierce competitor. She fights for everything, including that landing right there, all the way to the finish of that routine.
So 4 good rotations, and on the Utah side of the ledger, the 49.45 and the 49.4. So Utah is having one of its best meets of the year. Now, Utah will now go to the balance beam in the 3rd rotation. For any team, for any gymnast, the balance beam is a beast. But for Utah, the beam has been baffling this year. In fact, and we're speaking relatively here because they are ranked number 7 in the country, but balance beam is the lowest averaged event for Utah. They have changed the lineup, they have tweaked the order, and they have massaged emotions, but so far, they just haven't gotten the result that they seek.
We're going to come in these next couple of days and kind of focus in on beam a little bit, because I know that's been like our struggle points here and there, and I think we just need to be a little bit more confident on that event, and everything else has been going really, really well. So I feel like if we can just kind of step up our A game on that event, I think it'll help us be able to be a little bit higher in the rankings and be right where we need to be. And, you know, our dream is to, you know, make the Final 4 for nationals. So I feel like as long as we can narrow in on the little details and the little things just to fix it from there, I think we'll be, you know, where we want to be for the end of the results. So it'd be good.
Well, the numbers don't lie. 7 different lineups in the 8 meets. They have used 9 different gymnasts, and remember, only 6 in a lineup, so they have moved things around quite a bit. They have 3 different leadoffs. Last week, for the first time ever, it was Kari Lee, and she is scheduled to go first again. Head-to-head, they're only 5-4 this year, and only twice this year has Utah been under 49 in a rotation, and both of them have come on balance beam.
Well, I talked to Megan Marson about this. The first thing we agreed on is coaching balance beam is tough. But she said, you know, our sophomores, they got little exposure on this event as freshmen, so they're in that growing pains of handling the pressure. She said training has been great. They're trying some new mental strategies, and they're going to use them in today's competition.
A lot of gymnastics coaches prefer consistency in their lineups with the belief that familiarity is going to lead to better performances, but Utah has taken a different track this season, competition for lineup spots. They feel that keeps the athletes pushing themselves. But this has been the event that has kept Utah from what they want most, from a 198, from being one of the top 2 teams in the country. And today, will it keep them from beating the Bruins for the first time in a year?
New York Life.
There is no blue in this arena unless it was brought from Westwood. Everybody wearing red and a little extra. It's the red out. It's the wig out. These wigs are designed to raise money for the Dumpke Training Center here at the University of Utah. They give out 500 of them to the first group of people that walk through the doors, and believe me, I was here 2.5 hours before the meet, and they were lined up outside. It is another sellout. Over 15,500 again. It is the #1 draw in women's gymnastics for the last 35 years. And this is their biggest rival, UCLA. Halfway home, UCLA leading by 0.125. In a basketball game, that would be about a 5-point lead. 2 rotations to go, and Utah faces its nemesis, the balance beam, with the senior and the veteran, Kari Lee.
Last week, they moved her into this leadoff spot. So that's the first question I asked. We're going to see her in that spot again. They said, yes, we feel like Kari sets the tone. This is a great event for her. She has a nice fluid rhythm, like she's just dancing along to the music, in and out of the skills. She steps up for her first big element. Back handspring layout, step out.
Flawless.
The key on this event is making it look easy. And you see so many different styles. The key is that whatever you do in the gym is what you want to do here in the competition. It is such a mental game. Combination here at the end through that full twist.
Well, last week they put her at the top of the lineup and they said, senior, go get us a score. She went 9-8. I asked the coaches today, that had to make you happy. They said we were happy, but we'd like more this week.
Well, I think
they
that
got
was
it. Yep.
That was a beautiful routine, not a single wobble. She is so confident. That really sets the tone, and that's what this team needs right here in this third rotation.
I'll tell you how I know it was a good score. Liz Abel, the SID here at Utah, just walked by with a big grin on her face. She's seen a lot of gymnastics. Second time today, UCLA begins a rotation with a freshman, Margzetta Frazier, and UCLA on the floor is excellent. They are number 2 in the country, and they average better than 49.5. In fact, UCLA has hit 49 in 29 straight meets on the floor. Frazier is ranked 14th in the nation.
Watch this first tumbling pass. Full twisting double back. Looks like she was a little off balance, but snapped right into that lunge. Before the meet, I just stood next to the floor with Val, and I said, walk me through these routines, because I want to know everything about them. And when she thinks of Mars, she says, she is the classic UCLA gymnast. She's got the big gymnastics. She's beautiful to watch, and she has a performance quality that you can't teach. As a freshman, to walk in with this kind of swagger is exactly what they look for.
What do they say at UCLA? Don't compete your floor, perform your floor.
Yeah, that's the other thing she really talked about. You know, until about 4 years ago, she didn't necessarily value the entertainment as much as she does now. She realizes that drawing the crowds in has been such a big avenue for the sport of gymnastics. To watch many of these routines go viral is such a great thing for college gymnastics, the Pac-12 network, and every little girl out there watching that wants to be in these shoes someday.
And you know, there's a lot of little girls who have been practicing the death drop. That's how she finishes it. If you're doing it at home, keep your chin up, please.
Fans, just a reminder, please respect all participants, officials, and...
Frazier and Flally, the roommates, meet on the floor in Salt Lake City.
Well, the gymnastics is impressive, but there's the death drop. I think you should try that.
You know, I will admit, I tried it once at home after we saw it the first week, because it's one of those things you say, how does she do that?
I hope you were on the bed or something.
I was up on the bed just in case, yeah, and it hurt. Everything hurts now. 9.825 for Kari Lee. They wanted better than 9.8. She gave them that. So 2 weeks in a row, Kari Lee has done her job at the top of the lineup.
I think that score was a little tight.
Yeah, I do too. I would say that was the low end. Alexia Birch. Alexia had trouble on beam at Stanford, and we'll leave it at that.
Tumbling pass, back handspring layout, step out. Very nice.
If there's someone in this lineup for the Red Rocks who absolutely needs to be clean on the beam, it's Lexi.
You can see she has a different almost intensity with her arm positions. That was really key for me as an athlete. I really had to value that my arms did a lot of my positioning on this event to be precise.
It has been a last 3 weeks odyssey for Lexi Birch on this event. The beam is only 4 inches wide, but she's not up there alone. There are 15,500 with her.
Good for her.
Yes.
And
That's
you can
awesome.
see that excitement. She has been a great beam worker, but it has not shown up when she needed it. And today is exactly when she needed to show up.
She had falls in 3 of her last 4 beam routines. You were just pulling for her. Unless you're a UCLA fan, you've seen athletes go through tough times, and she just battled out of it. Frazier, 9.85. Talk about somebody who's been on fire on an event. Gracie Kramer on floor.
Incredible performer.
13 straight have gone 9.8 plus. She's ranked number 20 in the country.
See, very intense
Yeah, the
choreography.
face is the reflection here.
Has that real rigid body movement, draws you in with their face, and then buckles down for the tumbling passes. Front double full in combination.
Frantic and chaotic, but somehow organized.
Yeah, when Val was walking me through these routines, she said, man, they're some of the best we've ever had. I think that's a pretty big statement. But if you ask fans, it's been so fun to watch, and they have quite a few routines that we're not going to see today that are also outstanding. Front 1.5 twist, tumbling right out of it into the finish.
Gracie's best on this event came in the season opener against Nebraska. She had a 9.95. How tough is the UCLA lineup? That 9.95 was a tie for first. It was a three-way tie for first. Lexi Birch, 9.875. Good to have you back. Sydney Solosky has only been in the beam lineup the last 3. She also had a subpar performance at Stanford and needs to redeem herself.
Combination work right here at the top of the routine. She's got to get to that solid landing. Perfect connection. That's where she had some stumbles. She had to repeat that last week. So that's a great way to start this routine. Now she needs to stay in that rhythm, one skill at a time. All the gymnasts required the tumbling elements, the dance elements, like the leap pass we just saw, the full turn, which looks easy, but sometimes is the most challenging. And dismounting, front full. Last week, you mentioned some stumbles. It was a 9.6. When I asked the coaches, they said she was wobbly. She wasn't confident. That was a much better routine.
Yeah, she took a lot of apprehension with her up onto the beam at Stanford. They didn't start out well. They needed a score. They were trying to continue their record streak of 197s. So there was a little pressure at Stanford on the beam, even though that meet had been decided by that rotation. Kramer got a 9.95, ties a career high for her. Polly Trotz, she wasn't on floor last week, but she's been on floor in every other meet.
There go the facial expressions. Moving into this first tumbling fast, full twisting double back.
Five out of her last 6, 9.825 plus.
She has a very unique style, creative choreography, beautiful technique and control on the tumbling passes.
An all-around finalist at the 2015 European Championships. Said she came to UCLA for the combination of athletics and academics, and this is her favorite event.
Yeah, when she takes the floor, she says she becomes an alien supermodel. Hey, it's all about attitude when it comes to being a great performer on this event. Finishing double tuck. It was always my favorite as an athlete because you can really see a personality.
See Jordan Weber in the background, Olympic gold medalist, part of that Fierce Five. And now an assistant coach at UCLA and a big part of this floor lineup.
Yeah, she coaches floor. She is very proud of how hard these girls work and the creative routines they are putting out every single week.
When Jordan first came to UCLA, she was a manager. She didn't get paid. And you know what the Olympic gold medalist did? She pulled mats for freshmen.
That's what Val said. 2 things she loves is watching Caitlin Ohashi spray the bars for her teammates, and when Jordan Weber moved mats. You know what? It's all about teamwork, and it matters when it comes to collegiate gymnastics.
9.825 for Solosky. So Birch and Solosky have gotten back into the fold. And here's Adrian Randall. And it's the first time we've seen Adrian. Randall has a win on this event, had a bounce back at Stanford with a 9.825.
Back handspring layout, step out for her tumbling element.
Snapped it down to cover the balance.
Yeah. We talk about it every single week. The balance beam is all about covering when you're not perfect. It's only 4 inches wide. You're not going to go straight every single time. She was leaned a little bit left, but stayed composed. Solid leap pass. She has a unique element. This crowd is very aware of it, but it catches everybody's attention right here. Full twisting swing down. Ooh, little off center. Great job squeezing her thighs to stay on.
Rolfova, that was called? Yeah.
I call it a full twisting swing down. It's easier. Dismounting, double full.
Well, they are checking boxes on balance beam. This is a big moment for Utah.
This is a challenging skill. Watch when she catches. She's completely off to the side.
Look at Megan Marsden in the background.
Megan started to grimace and then realized what a great job. She squeezed her thighs. That is hard to do on that element if you're not dead straight.
Megan Marsden, a 3-time NCAA champion, twice in the all-around, and led the Utes to 4 national championships. Polly Trotz, 9.875. Now stepping to the floor, the first gymnast ever to win the Olympic, World, and NCAA championships, Kyla Ross. Ranked 4 in the country. All 6 have been 9.9 or better.
Whip, immediate double tuck. This is the one event Kyla has not gotten a perfect 10 on. And when I asked Val about this routine, she said, one of my favorites, but she said this young lady is special. She is grateful she is on this team every single day. And she's a key part. I asked, what's different about this UCLA team? And she said our junior and senior class really buy into the culture, both in the gym and out. A really fun routine to watch Kyla perform. Big double pike.
She had a 9.95 on that routine against Arizona 1 week ago in Westwood.
Well, she was clean on all of her passes. This is her second tumbling combination. Back 1.5 front layout, dancing right out of it. And then great amplitude on this final tumbling pass. 1 minute and 30 seconds, testing that endurance. No problem there.
Last week, Kyla Ross had an amazing meet against Arizona. Her all-around score was a 39.850. That is the highest in the country this year. The 4th highest all-time at UCLA. Any guesses who holds the record at UCLA for all-around score? They've had so many great gymnasts.
Zamaripa.
Very good. Good guess. Got to go back further. Mohini Bhardwaj.
Wow.
Yeah, 39.975 in 2001. McKenna Merrill Giles on the floor with a little credence in the background.
Nice rhythm, quick connection on her switch leap to split jump. Triple series, 2 back handsprings to lay out, step out.
And you notice that a lot of the gymnasts use calmer music and slower music, but not McKenna. She wants to go to work. She wants to take care of business.
When we talk about the different styles on this event, it's all about learning the style that works best for you.
7 of her 8 beam scores this year, 9.85 or better. There's the U.
Setting up for the dismount, she taps the back of that beam, using the entire beam for the round off. Nice takeoff, just that hop forward on the landing of her 1.5 twist.
And you saw waiting in the wings, Michaela Skinner, who will close out the rotation. So far on beam, their lowest scores, and they have 2, 9.825. They want Skinner to erase one of those. It's turning out to be a fine rotation for the Red Rocks.
Next up on
Kyla Ross,
UCLA.
post UCLA second, 9.9. Once again, Felicia Hano. Her last 4 scores on floor have been 9.85 plus. And she had a 9.95 last week against Arizona.
Big double layout. Double layouts are challenging because you have to be so quick and tight. 2 flips in that completely extended position. You can see they've moved the mat off. Combination work. Jumping right out. See a lot of the gymnasts doing that, saves in those deductions on the landings.
Fish had a 9.8 on bars. They ended up dropping that score. Had a 9.95 on vault. They kept that one. Specialist of the week.
The team all dancing along.
She was just as good on floor last year during the regular season. All 9 of her floors were 9.875 plus. All of them.
One tumbling pass left. Great double pike.
Felicia Hano.
We knew these final rotations were going to be exciting. Both teams have put up 5 great routines so far.
$9.85 for McKenna Merrill Giles. Again, I thought it would be just a little higher than that, but maybe they were saving room for Michaela Skinner. Michaela Skinner is top 10 in the country on this event. She's won 3 times. Last year, she won the Pac-12 championships. The year before, she was the NCAA champion.
Back handspring layout, step out, dancing right out of it. She is a very powerful gymnast. When you think of power, you think of floor and vaults. Those are great events. Balance beam is all about control, so her skills have a lot of amplitude.
I want to correct myself, Amanda. I was reading her floor notes. Those are floor notes that I read, not beam, but she's won twice on this event and 4 times 9.8 plus. I like to make one big mistake each show just to give it that live feel.
Solid. Switch leap to that straddle jump.
Tom Farden joins the party at the beam.
She has a big dismount. She flashes that U. The crowd goes wild, really sets her up. She's got to get a precise takeoff.
They just need this to finish their best beam rotation of the year. And look at Farden, says, get on your feet.
We talked about UCLA and all the 10s, and I said, has Michaela Skinner gotten one yet? I don't know. That routine was beautiful, start to finish. She's got incredible difficulty, too, which I always love to see on the balance beam. Back handspring layout, step out, snapping those arms, moving right into the dance, but impressive dismount, double tuck. It is risky because it's hard to stick. She did it.
Michaela Skinner has been great on everything her entire career, including the year she's been here in Salt Lake City. She has never received a 10.
Well, in the bigger picture there, balance beam has been the struggle. They've tried to find this lineup. That is the first time we've seen this team go start to finish looking confident on this event.
Michaela acknowledges the crowd, but the judges didn't give her what she wanted. A 9.95. What does it take, Amanda?
Well, I think it was an unbelievable routine, but the beam judges have been tight across the board.
Next up on floor for UCLA.
How can this meet get any better? We go from Michaela Skinner on the beam to Caitlin Ohashi on the floor. Number 1 in the country, 17 straight at 9+9. KO.
Crowd pleasing first tumbling pass, that double layout with the split in the middle. And this is where it gets fun. Combination pass and all personality as she points right to Val in the corner.
Coming in, I wondered how this Utah crowd would react to the floor. They're a savvy bunch. They love great gymnastics, but they know that Caitlin Ohashi can get your heart racing and then break it with a huge score.
When I talked to Val, there she is in the corner, working it with Caitlin. She said, you know, I think I figured out the perfect equation that makes a floor routine go viral. I said, well, are you gonna share the secret? And she said, well, it's all about music. And you've gotta have relatable choreography, which I think a lot of these moves, we could all get out on the dance floor and do, and it makes it so fun to watch. But you know what? You gotta love the athlete, and how can you not love Caitlin Ohashi?
It's pure joy. 3 perfect 10s this year. 5 perfect 10s in her career. And even the Utah fans grudgingly accept that that is something special.
Watch this first tumbling pass. You see double layouts. You don't see many that throw the split in the middle. She comes right back with the combination pass, and this is where the party starts on this floor routine. She dances right out of this and starts throwing some personality around. This last tumbling pass always wows everybody because she drops right to the splits. Absolute joy in this performance.
Pac-12 co-champion on the floor a year ago. We have seen an entire day's worth of gymnastics, but we're not finished yet. Utah will try to rally on the floor. UCLA defending on the beam. 3 rotations down, 1 to go, and UCLA leads by .250. Bruins are actually below their season average on the floor. Meantime, Utah just set a season high on the beam.
Volunteer coach BJ Doss here to give you a few tips on what to watch.
Well, it was a long week for Utah, and it was all about the balance beam. People talked about it here. It was in the papers. It was their focus coming in. You even heard Michaela Skinner talk about it. And at the back end of the lineup, Merrill Giles and Skinner deliver.
Well, they've been looking for the sweet spot in their lineup. Cardi Lee started it off. The back part of the lineup's been solid, but they were able to pick up momentum, which I think was a huge deal today. 9.85 for McKenna Merrill Giles, and then Michaela Skinner, she's got the power, and a huge dismount, nailing it. 9.95. I said for the whole rotation, I thought the judges were tight. I thought we were going to see a 10 on that routine.
Yeah, I can feel you setting it up, and I'm telling you, in the tunnel before, I talked to some of the Utah people, and the topic was, why has Michaela Skinner not had a 10? She might have deserved one there. On the floor, Kyla Ross.
Well, UCLA is known for their floor routines. They've got beautiful tumbling, but it's the incredible choreography. It is so fun to watch. That was where the scores kind of notched up just a hair. Kyla Ross, a 9.9. Felicia Hano, also at a 9.9. And then Caitlin Ohashi anchoring this event, opening with that incredible and unique double layout with the split. She has personality throughout, including moments like this where she drops to the splits and has that big smile on her face. You know, the routine looks fun, but she is absolutely having a ball the entire time she's out there.
The 9.925 means she continues her streak. 18 straight have gone 9.9 or better. So now UCLA has a decent lead, better than 2/10. But now they step to the toughest event. For UCLA, ranked 3rd in the country,
provider for the youth.
And they have also put out 4 straight individual NCAA champions on the balance beam, which is a remarkable feat. Speaking of awards, UCLA swept the season awards in the Pac-12. We begin with the Gymnast of the Week. You've been enjoying her all day long. Kyla Ross, that ridiculous 38.850 in the all-around. #1 in the country this year. #4 all-time for UCLA. Had a perfect 10 on the vault. Top 2 finish in all of her events. Specialist of the Week, Felicia Hano, the junior. Season high 9.95 on the floor. She had 9.875 on the bars. UCLA went 49.625 on that bars rotation. She was second on the vault. And the freshman of the week, Marzetta Frazier, 9.95 on the bars. That's a career best for her. She also led off on the floor with a 9.925 and was the absolute catalyst for UCLA right at the top of the death drop and breathed life into that lineup. 49.75 UCLA went. UCLA went 198 for the first time this season. There are now 3 teams in the country that have posted a 198. Utah still chasing that number. Utah still has a chance. They need UCLA to have a problem or 2 on beam. And the Red Rocks need to go nuts on the floor and raise the roof on the Huntsman.
Park Life.
In her recent book, Valerie Condersfield, the UCLA head coach, had this to say about the balance beam. She says, it's a master class in emotional control. Well, some teams fear it, some teams feast on it. I mentioned the 4 consecutive years that a Bruin has won the NCAA balance beam title. Sam Peshek in 15, Danusha Francis 16, Kyla Ross in 17, and the pinnacle last year, Christine Peng Lee. The final performance of the entire season in the country on balance beam, a perfect 10 to take down 2-time defending champion Oklahoma and win the 7th national title for UCLA. What is it about the beam? Why do people fear it, and why do some people just eat it up?
You know, that is a great question. As a young gymnast, I love to practice it. I did not like competing it, and I think a lot of it, like Val was saying, is it's a mental and emotional event. So you got to be able to do what you do every single day in practice. How do you do that? Well, for me, it was about keeping my heart rate down and focusing one skill at a time.
Grace Glenn begins. It is her only event of the day, but it's a good one. 9.875 twice.
Setting up for tumbling, back handspring layout, step out. Very nice, pulling right up into that lunge. Nice tall posture.
Speaking of that amazing NCAA rotation to win the title last year, Grace Glenn was the leadoff with a 9.9375, and Utah fans couldn't be less interested. That is the student section.
That can be tough. I think there's a reason they're sitting right at the end of the balance beam. Beautiful full turn right to that standing front needle scale. Dismounting back handspring, layout full off the side. Solid start.
Yeah, if UCLA is able to hit its average, 49.4 on the balance beam, this meet's over. It won't matter what Utah does over on the floor. They would have to go 49.825 on the floor. Going to start out with a couple of seniors. Macy Roberts cranking it up. Utah was the last team to beat UCLA. The Bruins have won 15 consecutive meets. They have beaten 37 straight opponents. This is Utah's last chance.
Macy has been in this position, leading off the team on floor for quite some time. She has a lot of power. Nice deep breath. Combination front layout, 1.5 twist out. Beautiful technique, gave her plenty of height and nice timing on the landing.
17 scores this year for Macy, all of them 9.825 or plus, including a 9.825 on vault today.
Coming right back, double pike, perfect position on that landing. It's a dynamic routine to start the rotation. The crowd was clapping along before that second tumbling pass.
BJ Doss in the red dress in the background. New choreographer here at the University of Utah. BJ is one of the best in the country. Inside of the Oscars, the Emmys, Beyonce, Pink, Usher, and she was a gymnast at the University of Washington back in the day. They brought her here to make these floors better, and she has.
Great start for Utah. When we talked to BJ earlier in the season, she said, you know what, I want the floor lineup to have fun performing, and you can really feel that energy right here at the top of this rotation. Second tumbling pass, double pike. She opens up with that chest and perfect positioning. That gave her great control.
You can be focused on floor, but you can't be serious on floor. You got to have fun.
Absolutely, got to show your personality. That's what really takes you to that next level.
Brielle Wynn says you can dance on beam too, even while you're waiting. 9.875 for Grace Glenn. And the crowd is booing the score, which is coming up in the background, and we'll pass it to you here in a moment. Again, that NCAA rotation on the beam. Brielle was clutch. Went 9.875 after a teammate had fallen to save the rotation and set up Peng Peng Lee for her heroics in the anchor spot. So that's the student section in the background. And gymnastics is one of those sports, because you don't play defense, in which the crowd's usually pretty respectful of one another. When you come here, you're going to have to deal with something a little bit extra.
That's what makes all of this fun. You see it at every single school. The student sections get into their teams. They know their floor routines. For Brielle, she's always been confident on this event. She has a real nice rhythm. You talk about performing on floor exercise. UCLA does a great job of performing on the balance beam. You see their personality in these routines. That's not easy to do when you're performing on 4 inches.
Brielle Wynn.
Very good routine.
Brielle from Tustin, California. That's in Orange County. And back in the day, she was the state champion, level 10, on balance beam.
Down and you.
9.875 for Roberts. You know, I was going to say they're looking for something 9.85 or bigger in that opener. Well, Roberts gave it to him. Kari Lee, the only event which she doesn't lead off, had a 9.8 on vault. They dropped it. Had a 9.825 on bars. They dropped it. Kari Lee looking to put her name in the book on floor.
Well, last week she got a 9.875 on this event. She's always had such a fluid, graceful style on this event. Opening 2.5 twist way in the air. Gives her plenty enough time to open it up and stay in control. She has great combination of power and flexibility like that to that switch half in the ring position. Combination. Then she starts drawing the crowd in. Music picks up. She has some clapping portions right here that the crowd participates in. Finishing that unique double full to a layout step out. Beautiful routine. Kari is elegant, but she stays so calm in these moments, and every team needs that high energy, but they also need that calming energy. Kari just put up another solid routine.
Both teams open with a 9.875, so that washed out. Brielle Wynn just put up a 9.9.
Madison Koshin.
Koshin, third up. Koshin is usually mid 9.8s on balance beam, had a 9.8 against Arizona last week. Two-time Olympic medalist and a three-time world champion.
And beautiful on the balance beam.
Ironically, she said she came to UCLA for balance. Prestigious academics, successful gym program, wants to be a pediatrician. I think that is a perfect choice for her.
Nice save there on her flight series. Coming back, oh no! Wow.
And ends up off the beam. Well, she never really seemed to settle herself.
Something.
And the Utah fans pick her up. That is a nice gesture. Remember, before she was a Bruin, she was a U.S. Olympian, representing all of us.
Looks like she was taking a second to rethink about what she needed to do. She repeated that element that she had the struggle on.
Yeah, I think Ms. Val came out and reminder said, pick it up here. Want to include as many elements as you can.
We talk about the Utah fans. They are clearly here rooting their team on, but they are also fans that love great gymnastics. Of course, both of these teams, incredible athletes across the board. Dismounting, double full. Just a little off on that performance for her.
Not settled at all. Well, she had just saved a fall and then stepped over.
Yeah. Oh, that front aerial, you know, it's a blind element. You can't see the beam till you land, and that back foot, that left foot, just never really got into a stable position. So then she wasn't able to come up and finish that skill.
So you would have to excuse the Utah fans when Koshin fell off the beam for thinking this might be our opening. So you're saying there's a chance. Adrienne Randall just had a 9.875 on beam. She needs a number. 2 wins, including a 9.9 last week at Stanford to finish first on floor. They need her to repeat the feat.
Full twisting double back.
Little short.
Yeah, it looked like she was trying to cover that landing. Adrienne always has been a beautiful gymnast. One thing they're working on in her floor performance is getting her to smile, draw that crowd in. Clean second tumbling pass. Teammates holding up UTAH signs in the background, the crowd joining in. There is no greater feeling than to perform on the floor exercise in front of your home crowd. Finishing double pike, a little bit short there too.
Oh, that might have just been fatigue at the end of that routine. Just came up short on the rotation, took a big step.
Well,
the judges immediately put their pencils to paper.
This team basically has done 3 meets within a week. They had a Friday and a Monday meet, and then came back, and here we are again. So when you talk about fatigue, it's not necessarily being fatigued in the 1 minute and 30-second floor routine. It's about competing
an accumulation
3 times.
Yeah, 3 meets in 9 days. They were in St. Charles, Missouri for a quad meet, came home for less than 24 hours, went to Stanford, both those meets 197s, then came home and had 5 days of training, and then this meet against their rival UCLA. So now after Koshin has fallen, that means Nora Flatley, Kyla Ross, and Caitlin Ohashi must hit for UCLA. The meat is hanging in the balance. But Nora Flatley says, beam is my favorite.
Well, that's always a great thing to say about the balance beam. Front aerial, standing layout, step out. Nice fluid connection, standing tall on the landing.
All 6 of her beam scores this year, 985 plus.
Beautiful. You can see the artistry in her dance elements. Beautiful connection work. Dismounting front 1.5 twist.
And the freshman comes through in Miss Val's last visit to the Huntsman. Her teammates knew how big a moment that was. That's a teenager who just did that in front of 15,558.
Yeah, she has a lot of experience as an elite gymnast, but there is nothing like being in a moment like this. Pressure is on, competition is close, you're finishing it out on the balance beam, and the person in front of you made a mistake.
Pressure when you're an elite gymnast is a little bit different than pressure for all of your teammates, your classmates. 9.775 for Adrian Randall. Utah will need to drop that. Solosky, Merrill Giles, and Skinner need to go big. Three times Sid has gone 9.9 plus. They need one here badly.
Big first tumbling pass, double layout. Great landing.
From Calgary and a 4-time member of the Canadian national team. So she's worn red before.
This is a high energy routine, fun to watch.
Seemed to hang in the air like a soap bubble.
Yeah, anytime you can have that extra air time, it gives you time to spot the ground. That's key in getting great landings. Combination to finish the routine. Jim, we talk about the energy in this arena. It's one of my favorite places to commentate because there's nothing like watching these girls hit routine after routine on both events right now, and this crowd going wild. Beautiful tumbling throughout this routine, clean landings on everything, and a fun performance.
Amanda, when I get my schedule every year and I look at it, I say this sentence: I get to go to Utah 5 times. 9.9 for Flatley, settles the ship after Koshin's fall, and it comes down to Ross and Ohashi. Both are ranked in the top 6. UCLA needs to go 2 for 2 to hang on.
This is perfect. Come kiss me one more time.
Back handspring layout, step out.
She has been fabulous on the balance beam of late. 4 straight scores, 9.9 or better.
I talked about it on the uneven bars. Kyla is a tall gymnast, so when she does perfect gymnastics, it's stunning. Details like a full turn with your leg behind you on the balance beam, dancing in and out.
She's 5'7". On the beam, she looks 6'5".
Having fun in her performance. I think that's always one of my favorite things to watch when you see an elite athlete, a former Olympian, move into the college world and really just love the sport they fell in love with when they were 5 or 6 years old.
Dismount. Got it. Hanging on. Just a bit of a lean. UCLA shaking a little bit on the beam, but keeping it together.
Beautiful skills throughout this routine, finishing right here, fighting for every 10th. Feet stayed down. She just leaned a little bit to the right. The arm dropped.
Randy Lane, assistant coach, with a pat on the shoulder for Kyla Ross. Solosky went 9.925. Big score. And look at these last four we're finishing with. Ross and Ohashi on one side, Merrill Giles and Skinner on the other. I'd pay for this chair today.
Woo, my heart is pounding.
Giles is ranked 17th on the floor. All 8 of her scores, 9.85 plus.
We always say this is a great preparation to see these teams go head-to-head before the Pac-12s, but it feels the same for me. Watching these teams, oh wow.
Flag went up, she stepped out.
Looks like when she landed, her legs just kind of gave a little bit. Took a big lunge back. That heel crossed the white line. That's 1/10 of a deduction. Oh, wow. Looks a little bit tired. Her legs buckling there on that connection. She usually does 3 flips. You have to remember, for McKenna, she has been doing the all-around in every single meet. Quite often you see all-arounders sit out a meet or two because it's weekend after weekend doing all 4 events, and it's not just the competition. You then go back to the gym and you have to train all 4 events consistently.
So in 9 days, 3 meets, she has had 12 routines and been on 4 airplanes.
Nice finish there on that final pass. You know, she really fought through on that routine. It definitely was not her best performance, but she could have given up right on that first tumbling pass. She opened up with a difficult pike full in. She had pretty good power, but when she lands, it almost looks like her legs begin to buckle just a little bit.
Yeah, she has a lot of room here, but look at how big the step is.
Yeah.
And the heel just over the line. Swoop, red-tailed hawk, the mascot here at the University of Utah. And so the meet comes down to the final 2. And for UCLA, it's number 1. Not only is Caitlin Ohashi their best beam worker, she is ranked number 2 in the country individually on the event. She was number 1 all year long. 5 straight 9.9 pluses. If she puts up a 9.9, she clinches the meet for the Bruins. They would be able to drop Koshin's fall. And UCLA's low score right now, other than Koshin, is a 9.875.
Nice combination work. Front aerial back handspring layout step out in the warm-ups. We saw her walking through that combination, making the adjustment she needed. Definitely paid off there. She was solid.
Bruins have lost just once on the balance beam head-to-head this year, just once last year.
Beautiful dance work.
A viral sensation and now trying to be a hero for the Bruins. Caitlin Ohashi
comes through there at the end of that rotation. And she's got a lot of difficulty packed into that routine. It is not an easy routine. Beautiful combination front aerial to her back handspring layout, step out. 3 major skills connected. And then look at this, a back handspring layout step out into the full twist. She does multiple combinations with major elements in that beam routine.
Besides the team meet, there was also a battle for all around. Coming into this final rotation, Kyla Ross and Michaela Skinner were tied. Ross has already gone 9.95. Skinner to close the meet.
Michaela loves to perform. You see that for this entire floor routine. Every moment, every movement has a detail. And a huge opening tumbling pass. Double-double. 2 flips, 2 twists.
Defending Pac-12 champion 2 years ago. She was the national champion on this event. Michaela Skinner has 97 individual victories. One more, and she ties the great Missy Marlowe for 3rd.
Beautiful combination in that second tumbling pass. Final pass. Huge. Full
Michaela
twisting double
Skinner
back.
is awesome. You and I both thought she deserved a 10 on the beam. She's never gotten a 10. She's been banging on the door. Are they going to open it now?
It is hard to believe this young lady has not gotten a perfect 10. Double-double to start that routine out. Difficulty, she stays in control on the landings. What a great performance to finish it out.
And you can tell by the reaction of the crowd, it's not a 10. And Megan Marsden reminds her what every gymnast needs to know. You can't control what the judges see. 9.925. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. The streak continues for UCLA. Bruins win. Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics has been presented by Opus Bank, the official bank of the Pac-12 Conference, and by State Farm, here to help life go right. First come to Salt Lake City, you realize it's not about me, it's about you. The U can be seen everywhere. And for the last time, Valerie Kondo's Field, inside the Huntsman Center, where she's had so many memories and just made another. As UCLA just went 198 for the second time this year, the second time in a row. For Ms. Val, that's career win number 528, but there's a few more in front of her. Let's take a look at our State Farm, here to help life go right. Highlight, you don't get much better than perfect, do you? Kyla Ross, earlier this afternoon on the uneven bars. 5 times in her career she had gone to the bars and come away with a 10. She did it earlier for the 6th time. It is the 10th perfect career, 10th perfect 10 in her career. And UCLA went 49.55. Kyla Ross, our State Farm, here to help life go right highlight. She's standing by with Amanda.
Kyla, we just watched another perfect 10. This team is incredible this year. You guys have gone viral. It's 9 perfect 10s. What's the secret?
I think just coming off of the win last year, I think we knew how close it was, so we were motivated to get back into the gym and train even harder because we know it's going to be a fight till the end again. But it's been a really fun year, and I'm just having so much fun this season.
Well, this is the biggest dual meet of this season and a major rivalry between you and Utah. Was there added pressure in today's competition?
I don't think there's added pressure, but it's great to go against a competitor that's up there with you. You can battle it out through the end, so I think it really helps us perform to our best abilities and perform under pressure. So it was really great that we were able to get both of us were able to get good team.
It was just over 2/10 separating. You guys had a fall. How proud are you of Nora Flatley in the back end of that beam lineup?
Yeah, I feel like our beam lineup has been a little shaky this season, so I think we've been good about handling pressure. I know we had a fall last meet too, so we battled back and still had a great team score, but I think we just need to sort of get more calm under pressure, but I feel like overall the beam score is getting better.
You guys have had a stacked season, and it's not over. You're going against #1 Oklahoma next week. How do you think that's going to go?
I'm so excited to have the rematch from last season. I think that it's really cool that we're heading to Oklahoma, so it's going to be a really great meet. I know their crowd's really fun to perform at in front of, so I'm really excited for next weekend.
Well, congratulations. You guys were fun to watch. Good luck.
Kyla Ross remains unbeaten on the all-around, 39.775. That's 3 weeks in a row. She's gone at least 39.775. And she gives Miss Val one more memory to take home. For UCLA at #1 Oklahoma on Sunday, Utah stays home to entertain #8 Michigan on Saturday. You can see that one right here on the network. Bruins win the meet, go 198.025. It ties their season high. It is a best road score on the year, and the Bruins are 10-0 and 5-0. Utah loses for the second time this year, 9-2, 5-1 in conference. For your producer, Michael Shames, your director who's playing hurt, Mark Wolfson, my partner, Amanda Borden, and our statistician, Michelle Castile. Thanks very much. 15,558 watched a classic at the Huntsman Center. And the Bruins win again, 16 straight.